T-Rex vs. Edmontosaurus Part 3! If you poor souls thought I had abandoned this project,
you are mistaken.
I just wasn't feeling very good about making videos all summer, and it kind of stopped being a priority. But my motivation has returned, somewhat, and Edmontosaurus will get the justice it so deserves. To give you guys a refresher, I'm going to be creating a refined paleo artwork of a battle between Tyrannosaurus rex and Edmontosaurus annectens in the Hell Creek Formation. I want the Edmontosaurus to have the upper hand due to all the slander it's gotten over the years. This video showcases it perfectly. Edmontosaurus is a genus of Saurolophine hadrosaur from the late Cretaceous. The specific species we'll be focusing on is Hell Creek's favorite punching bag, Edmontosaurus annectens. It was discovered in the late 1800s and has gone through a whole bunch of names. If you're from the 90s or early 2000s, the name Anatotitan or Anatosaurus may be familiar. Edmontosaurus as a genus is the most well-studied hadrosaur in paleontology. This is infuriating because for the life of me, I couldn't find detailed or even accessible descriptions of its skeleton. In the first video, I fell back on Scott Hartman's skeletal reconstruction of Stan.
Unfortunately,
he hasn't done an Edmontosaurus annectens. He has done the Regalis though. There are good looking skeletals and I'll have to use those. Edmontosaurus doesn't seem to have the same dramatic extent of individual variation that Tyrannosaurus did, but it still comes into play, especially with size. I'll be relying mostly on Spino and Wonderland's reconstructions since they write about how they got there. There are two giant individuals of our Ducky boy, Becky's Giant and X-Rex. These two are fairly incomplete specimens, and the estimation of their respective dimensions is fraught with uncertainty. From what I could find, the lengths are estimated to be around 15 to 16 meters at the highest, and upper estimates of weight are around 10 tons. Again, I couldn't find any actual pictures or descriptions of these specimens, although there were some skeletals. Edmontosaurus was very chunky. There have been a few studies on its volume and musculature. I'm not going to pretend to know the fine points of Archosaur musculature, but from what I've seen, the classic reconstructions are far too gracile. As a herbivore, Edmontosaurus would have had a large gut for fermenting its food. Angiosperms at this point had proliferated and were a key player in Maastrichtian flora. Edmontosaurus would have had powerful jaw muscles, which may have had the benefit of giving it a nasty bite with its many teeth. As you all know, herbivorous animals can have surprisingly strong bites. The neck was massive, with the seemingly swan-like configuration of the cervical vertebrae being almost completely obscured by the bulk. The arms and legs were similarly muscular. Based on the preserved mummy known as Dakota, we know that Edmontosaurus had what was basically a hoof on its hands. 3 of the 4 phalanges were encased in a cornified mitten of flesh. The first finger stuck out. The legs were very bird-like, living up to the clade name Ornithopoda, with 3 clawed back toes that are very avian in shape. They are almost indistinguishable superficially from theropod feet. The tail was absolutely massive. Basically, a straight line from the last caudal vertebrae to the pubis is how thick it can be. I don't know whether there has been work on whether they could bash things with their tail. There are tail pathologies that are associated with either failed hunting attempts or even just herb members stepping on each other's tails and breaking the bone. Yikes.
Plumage has ruined the dinosaurs.
Edmontosaurus has had several fantastically preserved soft tissue impressions. E. regalis had a fleshy comb over its head. Edmontosaurus had irregular polygonal tuberculate scales that didn't overlap. Edmontosaurus had enlarged neural spines, which in life were tipped with these interesting looking ridges. There was sort of a recent debate as to whether ornithischian dinosaurs had cheeks. There was a study that supported a more saurischian-like oral arrangement. However, it seemed the consensus right now is that they had cheeks. Prehistoric Planet and Skeleton crew are on the cheek side for ornithischians, so I'll trust them. Now for the skin itself, how am I going to depict it as it rests on the hadrosaur? This individual will be large and old, therefore I'm going to give it rather loose skin with a bunch of wrinkles. I'll be referencing certain monitor lizards and iguanas as I do this, including some iguanas that I saw on my trip to Costa Rica. I saw lots of cool lizards there. I've depicted Edmontosaurus twice before. I actually gave them the speculative balloon-like structures analogous to those of prairie chickens. I even sculpted a version a couple of years ago. This time, however, I want to make something different. To estimate what color Edmontosaurus could have plausibly been, there are several factors to look at. The environment of Hell Creek was lush, swampy lowlands and floodplain. There are a plethora of known flora from this area, and there would have been vast sections of forest broken up by marshes and more open floodplains and beaches. Modern large herbivores that live in these conditions tend to be drab in coloration, with varying levels of countershading. Something to take into account, though, is that all large land prey species alive today are mammals, and mammals as a whole are a very bland clade, generally speaking.
What did you say?
Large herbivorous living Archosaurs can be drab as well, or brightly colored, as coloration in reptiles is apparently much more varied and flexible. What I wanted to picture here is a partially leucistic individual. Leucism is similar to albinism in the inhibition of pigment in the skin. Unlike albinism, the eyes are the same color as they would normally be, as well as some other things. Partial leucism is when patches of the animal are white while other parts are regularly colored. This is sometimes known as pied or pied ball coloration if you're familiar with ball pythons. Ultimately, I selected this color scheme and proceeded to draw random white patches all over it because I've never seen this in paleo artwork before. To top it all off, as an elderly Edmontosaurus, whatever patterns that I may give it will most likely have faded as they do in living crocodiles and iguanas. And I'm going to incorporate this into my final drawing. We have the pieces, let's build ourselves a dinosaur.
Now the clouds are moving! Nature is all wrong! Ah!
We of course start with a basic sketch. This is actually a new sketchbook. The first page has a green bottle blue tarantula, and the second has... Oh yeah, I forgot to hit record for the sketch, and don't worry, it won't be the last time.
Taxonomically speaking, snakes are really just legless lizards, but their lack of legs doesn't put them at a disadvantage, like choosing skill trees in a video game.
Oh my god, dude, get your head out of the way. What are you doing? So, I've started... Oh god. Ugh. Get my shadow out of the way. I'm not at my normal setup right now. So, as you can see, I am working on the beak, the keratinous beak, and you can tell I'm trying to go for a sort of cracked vibe like you see on hornbill casks and, you know, just general keratinized features. And for this eye, I'm going to take some inspiration from the Jurassic World Dominion Therizinosaurus and make it have a cataract. Maybe it's from its age, maybe it had an injury, or I actually don't really know. But the point is, you know, rhinoceros syndrome, right? Where rhinos are way more aggressive than they kind of need to be half the time because their eyesight is garbage. Same thing with giant anteaters. Well, if we want an aggressive Edmontosaurus, what better justification, besides it being a prey animal that might need to be aggressive to survive, than having it be nearly blind and freaking out? Okay, back in my normal setup again, let's go. And my head is still in frame. You know, I thought I had outgrown that, but no, I really am just that amazingly good at blocking the view of the whole point you're here. It's wonderful. It's so wonderful. I'm rambling to myself. What am I doing?
Begins in the Cretaceous period, but they're a little impatient. To the west, a herd of Alamosaurus. But today will change the world forever.
Oh my gosh, do you guys want to say anything for my video?
Oh wait, are you filming right now?
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, I was in a time lapse.
Yes, of course I do. Report at Platypus for terrorism. Report the Weird Lint for terrorism.
And report Spider Boy for sexual harassment in the workplace.
At this part, just say that I'm doxing Adrian.
Actually, how about this, guys? Guys, give me your thoughts on Edmontosaurus.
On the what now?
It's very Calgarian.
Should I keep that in?
No.
You know, drawing like this over and over again can be quite hunger-inducing, which is why I have given myself something very nice. Some cookies and milk. You may be wondering, these look like Chips Ahoy. They're not. They're actually the President's Choice brand chocolate chunks cookie? I don't know, they're basically Chips Ahoy but cheaper, I think. I don't know, they taste good. Cookies and milk. Cookie Monster clip inserted here.
Okay! Nom 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 nom. Oh.
Found this little guy on the windowsill. Oh, focus. Please don't go up my arm. Don't go up my arm. What are you doing? That's it? Where's the rest of the time lapse? Hold on, this can't be right. Hello, where's the rest of the time lapse? There's none left? Really? I didn't press play when I finished it? Huh. Oh well, time for the reveal shot. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, when I actually put the two drawings together and make the paleo art that's 8 months old now.